Hey, what's up? So this weekend I went to Colorado to go snowboarding. And in order to get there, I flew Southwest. If you've never flown Southwest before, they don't have assigned seating. Basically, they just give you a place to wait in line when you get to the gate, and you get on the plane in that order, and it's just open seating. You can sit wherever you want. And basically, if you're Group A or Group B, you're gonna get an aisle or window seat. If you're Group C, you're probably gonna be stuck in the middle seat, right? And typically, if the fight is full, I don't think anything really matters. But then, if the fight is partially empty, it gives this opportunity where nobody will sit in that middle seat, right? You can have a chance where you have nobody sitting next to you, and it creates this game that I like to call Southwest Middle Seat Roulette. And typically, how it's played is you get on the plane with your partner. One of you sits in the aisle seat, one of you sits in the window seat, and you just pray that no one sits in the middle, right? If someone sits next to you in the middle, then you lose. If no one sits there, then you win, and your prize is extra leg room for the next 2 or 3 hours, right? And I think what happens when playing this game, it creates a weird dynamic because the person in Group C, for example, that has to get on and sit in the middle seat, they have to ask someone to stand up and get out of the way so they can move in and sit down. And both that person and the other person next to them don't want that person or you to sit in between them, right? So you're basically asking someone to get up so you can inconvenience them, and then you have to sit next to them for the next 2 hours. So I think what happens when people are playing this game is that middle seat, the aisle seat, and the window seat people are incentivized to make it a little bit more uncomfortable for you to ask. So what happen is like, oh, someone might pretend they're sleeping, or or they might just like take a little bit extra elbow room, or they might put a bag, on the middle seat, right? Because if they skip you, they feel it's going to be uncomfortable. They skip you, and they may ask someone else, and then now you don't. Now that person doesn't have anyone to sit next to them. So I don't know if it's because I've been traveling for the last 2 months or something, but yesterday when traveling around America, I was like, "Yo, American travelers, I feel like lack a little bit of etiquette. Really, it's just things like get going on the escalator. No one moves out of the way. Everyone's just like taking up the entire escalator, so you can't walk around them, or people just like lying out flat, like in the gate, like a homeless person, or people putting their feet up everywhere. And what I feel like what's missing in the game of Southwest Middle Sea Roulette is there's no etiquette, there's no ground rules being set. So in this video, I'm gonna set some ground rules that I think should be fair. So for example, like when I got on the plane yesterday, I saw someone A1, they put their leg against the wall. Like when they're sitting on their chair, the first one, they put their leg against the wall, so then no one could walk by him unless you ask him, right? Which is really rude and also kind of dirty, right? And then the other person on the other side, they like sat in like the aisle and they put their bag on the window seat, which is like really weird. It's a weird thing to do. So I think some ground rules from when playing this game is one is you have to keep the armrest down and you can't invade the middle seat space, right? And then the only other rule is you can't put your bag there. That's basically it. Everything else is fair game. So just so you know, I'm an avid player of Southwest Middle Seat Roulette. I often win. Yesterday there was only 10 seats that were available and no one sat in ours. And basically, what I did is I was just talking to my wife, and then I don't know if she was playing or not, but I was just like, I just kept talking to her. I wouldn't stop talking to her during the entire time. Uh, so then, so then I didn't even look up. We just kept talking, and then by the time everyone sat down, no one sat next to us, right? So that was my strategy. But I didn't cover the seat. Everything was available. They could have asked her to move if she wanted to. And then another thing, like on the flip side, when people are like hella try to cover the seat, I sometimes feel like that could be counterproductive because if I'm a C person and I gotta sit down somewhere and I can tell you're being an asshole, then I would just sit next to you just to ruin your day, because you're trying too hard. So those are some tips for the game. I feel like there should be etiquette, so I'm gonna set that etiquette right now. And then some tips I have for when you are the C person. I typically like to sit next to couples because if there's a girl and a guy and I think they're a couple, then I'll ask if they can sit there, and then what'll happen is the girl will move over so she sits next to her boyfriend or whatever. But that's pretty much what my wife does. So those are some tips for how to play, and I hope you play with good etiquette. Thank you.